These cells are erythrocytes or red blood cells. We notice that in their size and shape there is a uniformity. Their color, texture, and granularity is relatively normal and as expected. We note that there's a gentle shimmer pattern showing as the membranes, which are very much alive and active, have motion. The red cells are shaped somewhat like a donut. There is not a true hole in the center, but we note that there is a concavity or a depression. These cells will carry nutrients and waste products, dissolved gases, and will move in and out of the circulatory system and migrate out among the tissues. Sometimes abnormal proteins, globulins, or toxic substances can become bound to the membranes of erythrocytes. When this happens, they begin to adhere together, and the red cells will form a typical stack of coins formation, which is also referred to as red cells with rouleau factor. The cell near the center of the screen is a lymphocyte, one kind of white blood cell. It comes in several subspecies or varieties. Some of these varieties are responsible for producing antibodies or the globulins that protect us from bacteria and virus. Other subspecies are responsible for actually going out and attacking foreign materials that are toxic or noxious for our system. Seen along the side of this particular lymphocyte is a bright refractile body. This is a viral aggregate body as described by Naissans. It is not an individual virus, but rather a collection or assemblage of viral materials. The cell near the center of the field here is a polymorphonuclear neutrophil, or a PMN or SEG for short. We note that this particular kind of cell is responsible for the direct attack and phagocytosis of foreign material that comes into our body. It's peculiar in that the nucleus is made up of multiple lobes. The cytoplasm or soup of the cell contains numerous bright granules. We note that they're in motion. This particular kind of cell has a motility, that is to say it can move around. It does this by pushing out a pseudopod or a pellicle and then allowing the content of the cell to flow into it. We can see that here in this animated graphic. As this cell moves around, it can go from one site to another where its services are needed. Seen here in this image are a pair of monocytes scattered among some red blood cells. This population of white blood cells is responsible for helping to identify foreign materials and toxic substances. It will in some cases phagocytize foreign material and is responsible for templating and preparing foreign material so that lymphocytes and other white blood cells can carry out their functions. We also note that the monocytes are characterized by having a number of inclusions or granules in their cytoplasm, and the nucleus is often in a large C shape. These particular cells are especially important in the cell-mediated immune function. And in this image, there are a pair of small thrombocytes or platelets which derive from megakaryocytic tissue. We note that these cells are extremely essential in the clotting process and in the maintenance of cellular homeostasis in the blood. Now the cells that we have just seen are all relatively normal. We'd like to show you some cells when they are challenged with things such as an anesthetic. They'll undergo some very strong changes. They will distort, but these changes will reverse after a period of hours.